Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to play a game I found on itch.io, which, know how I put that your boyfriend a while ago? This is your boyfriend, but you're the Yandere. Called my boyfriend. So, who would, oh, would you look at that? A new one has arrived. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell me this. What's your name? Digital Wave. Digital Wave. My name's Digital Wave. Digital Wave, thank you for your cooperation. We hope your memory hasn't been too damaged. It'll be a shame if you suddenly forgot forgot your name just like that. But now you must wake up. You need to wake up. What are you saying? Who are you? Huh. Let me try this again. It's usually going on for me. It's like it's like a Groundhog Day story. Just some poor sap who works at a restaurant with minimum wage and is in this godless world. I thought after cutting off ties from my past, life would be easier. I mean, I did for a bit. Cutting off my family baggage did wonders, and moving out did help until I had to get a job and find a place to live for cheap. Now I'm here. Now here I am in the only apartment in town with a roommate with a crappy landlord in this crappy nowhere town. Onomar. I don't know. I definitely rushed in moving out from my original home. But ever since I moved to this town, there's a stranger that could never leave my mind. I've always gone to this side of park to cool down, recharge myself like a phone battery, because of how barren it is. Just the sound of nature. But I'm looking forward to seeing him again later on today. But we are complete strangers, and it's not like we met through some speed dating place or diner or something? Well, it's a Tuesday, September 9th, 7:16 p.m. I will remember that day until the day I die, because it was probably the worst day of my meaningless existence. Every day I had to go work, I wondered to myself, I should be a writer with how many various variations I can think of. Seriously tired of this. Customers throwing a fit because of too much ketchup, having a customer accuse me of stealing food because their order didn't get through online, which is why I had to double shift. Another customer throwing a drink at me, and so on. So many customers. The restaurant was packed all day. Even seen CJ. Not TK, CJ, my closest coworker, one of my closest friends since middle school, could barely keep up, and I was incredibly bad for them in particular. I always had to recover my butt whenever I worked late. This is what happens when you're the only local restaurant within the general area. I'm scared of what they'll do when I have to pay them back. I was shunner. Like by more and more of my day. Even if I had find myself annoying after a while. Anyway, I left the restaurant with a hunchback, tired eyes that could only steep closer to falling out in arching feet. CJ had to leave immediately after his shift ended, so I didn't have anyone to vent my frustrations on. Not that it matters, it didn't have the mental capacity to even talk or say simple words. It had gone to the point where looking at anyone being slightly pleasant, it was on sight. So imagine walking down the similar road to my sanctuary, my refuge, heaven, whatever you would call it. You find peace for a small moment. I didn't feel like going home without knowing that I could be grieved. Yet another overdue rent meal. Trying the best I could earn money along with Lexi, my roommate, but she says that she can't pitch in for rent for whatever reason. I've tried to talk to her. The rent needs to be paid now, yet it's almost impossible for her to budge. I doubt the landlord's gonna push for another extension. What is it making her so secretive? Walking was quite enough. A far cry from what I'm used to before moving. I lived in a big city, so I'm used to stuff like traffic and constant noise. I have to walk to a highway to get anything like that. Wind was picking up right in front of me, as the universe was not allowing me to get to the damn park. Sharing even more, I closed up my hoodie. Now I was wishing that I brought something thicker as I put my hands in my pockets. I started to rush by the time I got to Carbo's Park, my destination. The park itself was older than the town itself, but the oldness has its charm, at least to me. Some people thought that it was spooky or cursed after what I think is someone's death. It's boasts elms, chestnuts, and maple, and oak trees all over. It's seen as a perfect spot for picnics and some of the town's festivals, especially during spring, because all the fruit trees and cherry blossoms are at bloom. Wait, are we in Japan? Because cherry blossoms are in Japan. But none of that matters, not in the slightest. Because I'm only for a good spot in the park where I'm actually sanctuary lies. I had to walk to a certain tree. I craved to remember because it was a shortcut. Afterwards, there was a linger trial that eventually led to a closed off pathway because of some fallen trees. Even my work shoes, there were very easily to climb on before landing right back on the ground. It wasn't long before I found the bench among the oak trees in the barren spot. There's only one lit park light nearby that would have made only a few things that dissemble at night. But it wasn't empty. It was occupied by some guy. He looked incredible, wackly, as if the wind would knock him over any second. Judging by how long his legs are, he looked tall, too, but my judgment, his height isn't amazing. He was sitting at the same bench I usually sit at. Now incredibly tired, stressed out, and frustrated out of my mind, having to deal with an ungrateful customers for 12 hours. I could have told off that poor butthole for being at my sulking bench. But I saw a pack of cigarettes at the path that I was on. I recognized the brand LNN. Eventually, I put two and two together. That's surprising. I don't notice the obvious. Notice the obvious sometimes. He was clearly looking for a park with his hands digging into his pockets for the pack. Most surprisingly, that has happened today was that I gave him his missing pack of cigarettes, asking him if it was his. He looked annoyed that I even approached him, but cooled down after saying that I was holding it in my hand. He muttered a thanks. Now I know that what came over me when I asked if I could sit with him. Maybe I was just that stubborn to relax, or maybe I was inflated by infatuated by him for whatever reason. What was more surprising is that he scooted over, practically moving to the edge of the bench. We both sat in silence for a painful 60 seconds. I wanted to break the ice somehow. Nice shirt, vest. What brand is it? I haven't seen that before. Of course, I haven't seen it before. I don't even know every covered brand in the world. Of course he didn't talk. I tried another topic. Do you come here often? Alright, it's not the best conversation, sure, but at least I'm trying. With yet another silent response, I was about to cut my losses and just not talk to the guy. It's not insulting or anything. I wouldn't know what to do if someone just came up to me and wanted to start a conversation. Especially since that's how I was not even 10 minutes ago. Now that I think of it, I worry that I'm making this stranger uncomfortable. After all, he probably is here to relax like me and doesn't want some gobbler trying to strike up a conversation with him. The trees were looking more and more like sodas. It was starting to get late. It's not abnormal for me to come here at night, but it's not like I'm here to going to cool down here. Right when I was about to leave, I felt my shoulder being nudged. Turning over, I see the stranger hand me a pack of cigarettes. I looked at him earlier. I returned it to him earlier. I didn't say anything, but he finally spoke. You want one? I don't smoke, but take a cigarette. I take a cigarette and the stranger helped me light it. I was no addict, but I did take a smoke or two before. I don't know what Alexi is talking about. It never calmed my nerves. All it did was fill my lungs with weed. You mean... Okay, first of all, it's not weed. Weed is a different thing altogether. It's probably nicotine, which I'm not. I don't smoke, but, weed is basically marijuana. So it would fill my lungs with smoke would be a more appropriate wording on that. But this is tobacco, so maybe it's different. Be different. Okay, yeah, it would. Even with, pretty sure with marijuana, I'd still smoke. Because you're putting a light on it, and it's smoking it. It was not. It took my strength not to cough my lungs out. Right now, the stranger chuckled at my display. Not into it? Oh, no, I get why people do it, but it's not my thing, which was true. You drink instead? The stranger asked. I do, but not as much as my friend I know. She drinks like a lot. But hey, good for her. As long as she doesn't overdose, I'm golden. I added on. For me, I don't drink or smoke, but mostly because, first of all, alcohol tastes nasty, and for smoking, I'm asthmatic, so I'm not gonna do it. Video games are my escape, my de-stress. The stranger hums a response. I started getting a little more excited, and he still looked intense. I wonder what's up with this guy, but it's not my business to pry. I guess still I can't help but get curious. Taking a closer look at the guy, I noticed how big his eyes are. I could easily make this mistaken for eyeshadow or something. Well, that's what I thought. He obviously doesn't get enough sleep. It's a miracle he didn't fall asleep on the spot, sitting down for over a minute. He definitely looked like he has a zombie, and chronic one at that. Not that I can judge. I've been getting trouble sleeping since I moved in. Hopefully the guy gets better. I could barely help myself. I'm currently thinking about something, though. Maybe I shouldn't ask. Maybe... Screw it. So, you work at Little, Lamb Diner? He asked suddenly, turning to look at my face. Huh? Oh, I didn't know I should answer honestly or not, but I was already in the middle of my response. Yep, I do, right? What's up? You do? As I thought, I thought you looked familiar. He was trying to glance away again. Do I know you? I asked, generally curious. I'm pretty bad at remembering faces and even worse at remembering names. He looked at me in thought. He looked at me in thought, tapping the foot, now in a fast motion. He almost looked nervous. Just curious, that's it, was all he said. I would have taken that as strange if I didn't notice the light brush on his his cheeks. Does he have a crush on me? I'm thinking too much into this. Either way, this guy's definitely had more on his mind after I confirmed that I worked where I worked. I didn't know why I meant that to some stranger. The stranger looked to be having finished his drag and dropped his empty cig into the ground and put it out with a stomp. He got up from the bench, about to walk away from the park. I couldn't help but want to still talk to the guy, and I knew I was starting to miss out with the opportunity that moment he stood up. Before I knew it, I called out, "Wait!" He turned his head, looking surprised. Do you want to go on a date? I blurted out. Date? I barely know the guy. Why did I say date? I simply tried to correct myself. I didn't mean a date. I just meant like a hangout date. I mean, just hang out. Maybe I'm going crazy, but it looks like the stranger's eyes lit up for a second. It took a while for him to answer, putting his hands in his pockets and thinking over an answer. He started to fidget, looking more nervous than he ever did before. Eventually, after a drag of silence, he spoke. Sure, maybe we could go where you work. He dragged out the last word, sounding more unsure of his suggestion. Where I work, I wouldn't be the best place for me to be in my day off, but at the same time, it would be the safest. After all, I have a date with a stranger. If anything were to happen, I'm sure to run it to the nearest coworker to help me not get kidnapped or something. Oh, do I want to go on this date at all? I just blurted that out for some reason. I could easily lie and say I forgot I was busy that whole week. No, I'll just go with truth. We can hang out tomorrow. I have my day off tomorrow. I can hang out with you. Just tell me the time and I'll meet you there. And I'll be right on time. I said, fingering gunning over his direction. He looked content with that, ignoring how clingy I probably looked. He tried to imitate the finger gun thing too, but he clearly didn't have the energy. Cool. Is 1 o'clock good? He asked. I know, that's perfect. I'm going to sound the alarm for that. I murmured to myself before opening up my phone to get my clock. Suddenly I remembered the obvious. I never got the stranger's name. So, one more thing. I never got your name. If I were to see you again, I can't keep calling you stranger or random guy or something. Suddenly his face turned to the ground. He walked away, sighing in frustration, upset at the very simple question. I don't like my name. In fact, I hate it. You can call me whatever you want. I don't care if it's stupid, just... It can't be as bad as my real name, he said. That was the most he ever spoke the whole time. He hates his name that much? He must have some awful parents he doesn't want to dispatch himself from. Anyway, maybe he's trans. He doesn't want me dead naming. Either way, I respect his decision, even if I wanted to know his name to keep it safe. All right. Let me think of something. Maybe I was gonna say we should name him. Okay. Characters to name him after. I'm doing a Saitama. How about Saitama? I like that. I want to be called that. And with that, I'm glad he appreciated the name, no matter it was tacky or just straight up rude. It is technically rude. But I love Saitama. So, alright then, Saitama, I'm going to be calling you out at that from now on. I was starting to get comfortable. I forgot that it was starting to get dark. I'm going to need to head back home. I'm pretty sure he has places to be as well. Oh, I gotta go home. Sorry for the sun. Goodbye. It's good. I'm heading home too. See you whenever. See you later. We both left the park and I needed to nap anyway. I took the shortcut to get back to my apartment, but it's with the timed with the limit amount of streetlights, it was really hard to see. It was starting to get cold and all I had was a light jacket. My way home, I started to think about the stranger, meddling in my own infatuation. It was completely out of character for me to be that social, but it was only to that guy, Saitama. My mind started to descend into the dining room set. Before I knew it, I am suddenly back in my apartment. Before walking to my bedroom, I picked up some instant soy sauce, ramen noodles, and got to boiling water on the stove. My roommate, Lexi, wasn't home yet. I'm assuming she was out to someone in another. She was with someone else in another place that wasn't here. I shouldn't be too annoyed though. I mean, she's careful who she's with. I just wish that she and her whatever random person doesn't walk in here. Rather than this apartment is not big enough and hear them. When waiting the water to boil, I start to text Lexi if she got her keys now that I'm home. I'm not a fan of walking up in the middle of the night with several missed calls because she left her keys somewhere in her room. It's not fun on the dispensing either. At least that's what I think the opposite of receiving in is called. Putting my phone back in the pocket, I put the noodles and the flavoring packets into the boiling water, and after several minutes, I poured my ramen into a bowl. After getting some chopsticks, I started devouring the cheap ramen. It was alright. My now empty bowl of ramen is placed into a kitchen sink, and I leave to go into my room and turn off the kitchen lights. Oh yeah, I found a ramen bowl that was Jujutsu Kaisen next to Naruto one. I'm like, I want the Jujutsu Kaisen one. Moving over to my bedroom, I took off my work clothes and changed to my pajamas, a loose-sized tank top and boxers. I make myself relax. I close my eyes, took a deep breath, and a sigh. Home sweet home. I got a notification on my phone and a response from Lexi. Yeah, I got my keys. You don't have to wait until 1 to get the door. LOL. Yes. I walk over to my closet at the corner of my bedroom, feeling pretty proud of myself. I called the walk-in closet first when I moved in with Lexi. I moved some clothes out from the way regretting having thrown some of them in the ground. The noise quickly dispersed upon turning on the dim light in the closet, closing myself upon the hanging closet to scare anyone from seeing my shine. You already were stalking him. Is that all the pictures I've collected over the course of months, taped lovely on the walls of every angle of Manson, far and close. Some stolen clothes from his closet that were never been missing, would never be missed. Places in the pile to smell every night before I sleep, so I could remember in my dreams. Various objects that he dropped, from used tissue that he used to bottle caps that he loves to collect. He's been very adamant about the hobby. It's adorable to see his little collection. I just couldn't help it. This one's supposed to be for 16-year-olds, and this should be edited. It really said 16. And there's a lot more inappropriate stuff than your boyfriend in the beginning day. Finally, 3 boxes on the right containing a single a single archer repeated from the top to bottom. Didn't matter if I accepted the tea or not. I will see him again, and he will be given one of these flowers. Of course, real this time, not fake ones that were in that box. I need to go to the flower shop to make my decision. Oh, Manson. I know I'm just a stranger to you, but I've known you for all those 9 months. Haha. I was so nervous to finally go up to you, but now I have you. I'm in your mind, your memory, and I'll make sure that we're going to be together. No matter what it takes, no matter how much blood, sweat, and tears I'll have to sacrifice, no matter how many people I sacrifice at all. I see that look in your eyes. You want me as much as I want you, don't you, Manson? It just met you. You even let me name you. It's like you wanted me to tag you. You can't try and deny it. It doesn't matter. I know you. Oh. God, do I know you? I sound disgusting, huh? Yeah, you do. If you could hear me, I'm sure you understand that it's like to find your new adoration, your beautiful session. Breathing in your clothes isn't enough anymore, but we are closer than a passerby. I love you so much to have you slip away from my fingers. After all, you are my boyfriend. Okay, that was chapter 0. And the only chapter. If you want my content, please subscribe, like, do, help out, and comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.